Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to News in Motion. If you're tuning in live with us here at 7:25 a.m., we just want to say good morning to you. Or if you're catching the replay, whether it be in the afternoon, the evening, or near the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for tuning in to News in Motion. If this is your first time tuning in to News in Motion, you're probably asking yourself, what is this and how did I find myself here? Well, I am glad that you asked. Well, News in Motion is a news media outlet with relevant commentary and call to actions. We also talk about voter registration and what is going on in the communities and around the world with some international news as well. We can be found at LinkedIn, YouTube, or any audio or podcast platforms. For our audio and podcast listeners, thank you for turning those dials to NIM today. We are here on Wednesday, May 29th, 2024, as you are driving to the grocery store, dropping the kids off for the last day of school, whatever the case may be. We just want to say thank you for tuning in and watching and supporting News in Motion. Today we have What to Know Wednesday with a little presentation as well. So be sure that you grab your paper, grab your pen, and that we are taking down important notes and information. Today is also kind of an amazing day for me personally. It is the last day for those of you who know that I have been a teacher for the last 9 months. This is my last day of school with the kiddos, so it's kind of being a bittersweet day for me. But I'm excited to see how they grow over the summer and how they are going to be engaging for next year. Before we get started, a few shout outs. Good morning to you, Miss Jackson. Good morning, Miss Tracy Newmy. Good morning, Miss Regina Shorts. And good morning, Miss Adrian, tuning in through the tubes of you. So, without further delay, y'all know what we do over here. Let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I see you, Jeff Payne, coming in here. Stephanie Burbridge Hall, good morning to you, my sister. Good morning. Y'all, we have a lot of news, but this is also What to Know Wednesday, which I'm going to do something extra special today that will culminate, if you will, with the type of news that I'm going to be delivering today. So I'm letting everyone know I'm in no hurry today. And if you have to drop off, we understand. But for those of you who want a value-based workshop, just stay with us past the inspirational message, and I will keep this thing going on a workshop called Know Your Worth. So it's some business stuff that I'm going to be talking about. So make sure, thank you, Tracy. So make sure you stay with me if it's something that you want. And for those of you who stay on with me through the actual workshop, it's going to be a workshop too. You will also receive the PDF soon thereafter. So, but you have to be on live to be able to get the PDF afterwards. So I'll make sure you have all of that. Let's see. Lori William Wallace, good morning to you. Deborah Johnson, good morning to you. Fred Jones, good morning to you. And again, Tracy Newmy, thank you. Y'all, today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Do us a favor. Go ahead and smash that like button, hit the alert on YouTube, as well as let somebody know, hey, come on over here. We're hanging out with Gail Dudley, News in Motion, and the entire team in the community. Encourage them to come to understand and get to know a little bit about What to Know Wednesday, and again, Workshop Wednesday. All right, y'all. The Dallas Morning News reports. I don't know about you all. I live in Ohio, and that rain last night, it was comforting, but it was like, okay, come on already. Are we going to have like a tsunami outside? Like, what's really happening? But y'all, Dallas Morning News report that Dallas County power outages will last multiple days as the storm continues to wreak havoc over in Dallas. And this is from their weather officials there. Y'all, more than 500,000 people are without power, with all the winds and the rain that went across North Texas since early morning yesterday. Some in the Dallas area even woke up yesterday to tornado sirens. I remember that happened here in Central Ohio, was a month ago or so. And the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for parts of the region, and they keep extending those warnings there in North Dallas. Y'all, power outage just caused by severe weather. They said it's going to last for several days. The county judge, Clay Lewis Jenkins, signed a declaration of disaster as more than 322,000 residents were still without electricity as of this morning. I see you, Donnie. I see you, Pastor Alex. Good morning to you, and congratulations to have one of your babies graduate college. So I want to say that to you. Yeah, and then more than 600,000 of its customers, including Dallas and Tarrant counties, were experiencing additional outages. So, y'all, that's what's happening in Dallas. Y'all, this weather is really, really just crazy all throughout. So, I just want to make sure I put that out there. And if you're just now joining us, continue to hang out with us. And today, again, is What to Know Wednesday, as well as Wednesday Workshop. After the inspirational message, because I know some of you have to go, for those of you who will stay on, you're getting a value-based workshop called Know Your Worth, that we're going to take our time and work through it. So we probably won't get off of here until about 8:30, quarter to 9, for those of you who are able to stay. And then those of you who are able to stay, you will actually receive the PDF as soon as the workshop is over. So something that we're just doing today. Why? Because I feel like it. Shardinia, good morning to you. All right, y'all. Yesterday I reported about EPA in the water. Y'all remember that report? Well, it's already happening. Starting March, when you start digging and finding things, this past March, there was a nationwide water recall update as the FDA addresses levels of concern. And so if you drink Fiji water, then you bottled water, then you probably received some sort of notice saying there's a recall on that water. So if you hadn't drank those bottles yet, they were calling them back. So the U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued an update regarding the previous recall for water bottles sold nationwide. In March, the FDA announced a recall of over 70,000 cases of Fiji natural water bottles over concerns that they were contaminated. Now, there's still that level of contamination in those bottles, but what happened? Now, this bothers me, y'all. And if you did not hear the report yesterday, go back to yesterday's News in Motion to get the report about the EPA and the water levels and what's happening in the cyber attacks with water. They then just kind of like adjusted the what they call the healthy levels of contamination. That's not good for me because I now know that there's contamination in that water. So y'all just be mindful, be aware. I'm not saying be scared or anything like that, but know what you're drinking. Know what you're drinking. All right, as we all know, that's why I have this sweatshirt on today. As we all know, today, as of last night, the prosecution rests, the defense rests. They gave their closing arguments in the election interference, also known as a hush money trial, on yesterday in New York City with the former President Donald J. Trump. The New York jury will begin deliberating today on whether the former president is guilty of falsifying business records in 2016. So, y'all, all of that is happening today. So, if they come back quickly, people say if they come back quickly, then it's not good. But if they come back quickly, it can also be good. So we don't know. We just want people to understand what's really going on and to respond accordingly. Just know what's going on. He faces up to 4 years in prison if convicted. Though a legal analyst of similar convictions found roughly 1 in 10 actually went to jail. And knowing him, we won't go to jail if he's convicted. But just to have that on your record. I still laugh when I get all these emails from his camp. There was an email that came out like around 2 o'clock this morning that says, "If you're my friend, please pray for me." I'm like, are we serious right now? Like, are we serious? But that's what's happening. And if you're wondering why I get them, because as a journalist, we get all these different alerts and things, so we see those things. But I see them and I just like kind of laugh. Yeah, HuffPost is reporting, still talking about the former guy. E. Jean Carroll lawyers responds to Trump's rant. It's like he just can't be quiet. It's like, dude, get some handlers to help you be quiet. Y'all, as he was commemorating Memorial Day, he went into a rant and talking about human scum, and he complained about the huge damages that he had been ordered to pay E. Jean Carroll. And Carroll's lawyer said that all options are on the table over Trump's latest attack of their client. It's like, dude, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Not only speaking of Trump, I want to turn the table just a little bit to Nikki Haley. I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but The Guardian and many others have been reporting that Nikki Haley was pictured in Israel writing "Finish them" on the IDF artillery shells in Israel. Yeah, she wrote that. She wrote that. She wrote that. She had a white marker, whatever, white pen. She wrote on there on one of the big bombs, or the artillery shells. She says, "Finish them." But in her quote, she says, "I want Israelis to know you're doing the right thing. Don't let anybody make you feel wrong, because Israel's not wrong in this." This is a quote from Nikki Haley at a press conference on Monday. In northern Israel, the former ambassador of UN and former South Carolina governor, she signed it again. She said, "Finish them. America loves Israel." So she's getting a lot of backlash from that. Even as of this morning, a ton of backlash about what she wrote because of the number of civilians that are being killed in Gaza, and the Palestinians who their children and so forth are dying and being crushed and killed. So she's getting some pushback on that. So that's interesting. So we got to watch that unfold. So I want to turn just a little bit, because all that has to do, also everything I shared with you all of that is connected to some sort of financial piece. So just follow along with me. And this is where I'm going. So y'all got to stay with me when I'm doing What to Know Wednesday workshops, because we will make a transition. But hear me, it's all connected. It's all connected. All right, y'all. CNBC is reporting that T-Mobile announced yesterday that it will acquire most of the U.S. cellular's wireless operations, including around 4.5 million customers in 620 stores, and a $4.4 billion, that's with a B, deal. Now, y'all, this transaction, again, this is coming from CNBC, this transaction, which combines cash and up to $2 billion in debt, aims to improve coverage. So let's just talk about this for a moment. What's up, Dr. Antoinette? Let's just talk about this for a moment. They're already trying to break up monopolies, right? Y'all been watching that, right? With the DOJ when it comes to Live Nation. Is it Live Nation? Yep. And Ticketmaster. DOJ filed a suit to break up monopolies. They're looking at Amazon. They're looking at, what's it called, Temu, who's coming out of China, I believe. They're looking at all these monopolies. But yet, here we have a cellular phone company that to some degree is building a monopoly. We saw what happened with JetBlue merger, and I think it was Spirit Airlines, how they broke that up. So here again is another place where a company's trying to acquire other companies, and they're building again what you call a monopoly. We see this one is coming to the internet services or cable networks. All of this, we need to be asking the question. That's why we go to town hall meetings, y'all. Why is this happening? What can we do? What's really happening here? Department stores, the same thing. So now we have T-Mobile, who's acquiring U.S. cellulars. There's that. Now, all the stuff from cellular to cellular, all the stuff that's been happening with iPhone in China. Y'all know there's been settlements, there's been suits, there's been pushback, their stock kind of tumbled, all of this under iPhone, right? Well, iPhone sales miraculously in China have rebounded. How did they rebound with all this that's going on, y'all? These are the kind of questions we need to be asking. All right. Sales of Apple's smartphone and the company jumped not 5%, not even 1%, not even 25%, not even 50%. They jumped 52%. What? Yo, when you read this and see this, you're like, well, why all the drama around it? What was really happening here? Why were we so laser focused on this fight between Apple and China, but you have 52% jump? According to the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology, showing that Apple's decision to slash prices is paying off. So was this about slashing your prices? Where's the money going? Is the money no longer flowing through the United States and is more so flying through China? What's really happening here? Sales ticked up about 12% in March after falling in January and February as Apple lost ground with Chinese brands. As a result, Apple then cut prices, hoping to regain the top spot in China's smartphone market. And I guess it happened because as of right now, sales have jumped as of April 52%. I want to hear from y'all. If y'all are on the live chat to talk to me, I need to hear from y'all. Like, what do y'all think happened there? What's really going on here? Y'all, why am I mentioning this here? Because it's all connected. It's all connected. We're talking inflation. We're talking the CPI. We're talking the GDP. We're talking the job reports that will come out Friday, I believe, Thursday or Friday. All of this, things that we vote for, people we put into these positions, this big old fight, all of these monopolies, things that are happening, 52% increase. So if you slash prices in China, are you going to slash prices in the US? Like, what's really going on? These are the conversations, y'all, we need to be having. So let me just move a little bit to Bloomberg. Talking about that, Bloomberg reports that Americans are unexpectedly, they didn't expect us to feel better about this, but we're starting to feel better about the economy this month. Why this month? Why are we feeling better about the economy now? Like, what actually changed? Because here's the truth. When I look at all the numbers from the GDP, which we talked about, I believe, last week, from the consumer price index, which we talked about, I believe, 2 weeks ago, those numbers have not changed. They haven't changed. The FOMC, you got Chairman Powell, hasn't made any rate cuts at all. Those things are still in place. So why all of a sudden are Americans feeling better about the economy this month? Now, this is from a Conference Board's monthly index. The U.S. consumer sentiment rose from 97.5 in April to 102 in May, smashing the economist's estimates. Well, how did that happen? Because nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So is it that, this is where I want y'all to talk to me, is this that we're just like, okay, we've just become sensitized to it. We're like, whatever. Like, desensitized, should I say. And we're like, whatever. Like, just do whatever. We're going to pay whatever. Because that's the message we're sending. So the credit cards have gone up. We're spending more with credit cards and we're paying small. We're not paying them off as much. We're paying like the minimum payment or a little bit over. So have we just become comfortable and we're saying, okay, we're just going to do whatever? Are we sending the message to those who are looking at the big picture saying, okay, they're ready now, so we can just stay here. So let's not cut any rates. Let's not do anything. They've become comfortable with what it is that we're doing. I want us to think, y'all, we got to stop being single issue focused and look at the bigger picture and ask some of these questions. Because if this is the truth, then you're also saying that the Biden administration is doing everything they can with the inflation, which means that the economy is all good right now. Well, it doesn't look all good, but that's what we're communicating with a message like this. Now, it says, meanwhile, this is coming from Bloomberg, the expectations index, which measures the short-term outlook, for income and other labor market conditions, increase. Okay, so the short-term increased, but the long-term didn't. Like, did decrease? Like, make it make sense. Y'all, again, these are the questions. This is how we connect these dots here. And they go on to say, the report showed that Americans remain worried about inflation and interest rates, but they've moved on. I don't know about you, but I haven't moved on. I still have questions. And we just cannot continue to put a band aid on things and keep moving. I stress, y'all know I am serious about this, attending town hall meetings when your representatives come to town. So we're getting ready to get into a season because some of them are going to be candidating to be reelected for office. We need to attend these town hall meetings and go armed and ask these sorts of questions. Because it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. So, y'all, I want to just stay with the money flow a little bit. And again, the workshop's coming up in a few moments. I want to stay with the money flow a little bit and see and ask you all, have y'all seen how much housekeepers are being paid in Palm Beach, Florida, and in New York? $150,000 to $200,000 a year. I think I need to change vocations for real. Yes, y'all, the Palm Beach housekeepers are making 150 plus a year due to massive demands from the wealthy, and they're paying it. Not only are they paying those rates, they're also including overtime pay. Remember, we talked about overtime pay yesterday, where there's a suit in Sherman, Texas against the DOJ to stop overtime pay for salary employees. They're also giving them 401ks as well as health insurance. Y'all, housekeeper, hello, somebody. We got to look at changing some things around. So, y'all, housekeepers in Palm Beach and South Florida are cleaning up with salaries that often top 150,000 to 200,000. There's also bidding wars between housekeepers and companies where the mansions owners are then taking pictures from different people, and they're talking about how they will detail what it is that they're doing. So, y'all, all of that is happening as well. I don't see any of y'all responding to me in the chat. Are y'all still there? Talk to me. I want to know your thoughts on this. So this is happening, y'all. This is happening right now. The average hourly rate is about $50 an hour. But when the mansion's 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms or more, that's where they're seeing this increase. Dr. Antoinette said, "Say what now? How much for a house?" Listen, 150,000 to 200,000, and this has been happening since 2020, even in the height of the pandemic. And it's including overtime. So if they have to work overtime, they're getting that. They're getting their 401ks, and they're also receiving health insurance. That is happening, which means that people can afford. So you have these companies who are suing the DOJ for mandatory overtime pay for salary workers. And I told you that number yesterday, $58,000 before taxes is what their yearly income. They don't want to pay them anymore, and they're putting them under the salary cap so that they don't have to pay overtime. So you have that big fight that's happening too. Marion says, "Still here, you're giving me a lot to digest." That's what, Isaiah tells me all the time. He says, Auntie Gail, when they're not talking, it's that they're writing, they're receiving, they're processing. He says they're still there. Adrian says the work they are doing is demanding, and I'm sure the work environment is likely stressful. And then Jeffrey Payne says, "Wow, 100,000 K." Listen, I read that. I was like, can I do that? I can't, but seriously, it's like, wow. So that is happening. That's out there. Talking about homes. Y'all want a home? Y'all want a home? Y'all want to move to the Illinois area? Y'all want a home? Y'all want a home? Listen, a Home Alone house. Y'all remember that famous house is now for sale. Now you can buy it for $5.25 million. Yes. Y'all, the famed house in the Chicago suburbs where Kevin McAllister, y'all remember that? I love those movies. I love the first one more so than the second one. He was once left behind when they were going to Paris. But a willing buyer should be ready to fork over some serious cash, y'all, like some serious cash. It has more than 9,000 square feet of home. It's priced at $5.25 million. It's on sale for the first time since 2012 when the current owners who bought it for $1.58 million, according to the Zillow page. The brick home features 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, 2 living rooms, a kitchen, 2 large kitchen islands, a double oven, a 3-car garage, a basketball court, and a movie theater. And listen, if y'all really want to see it, just go to Zillow. It's on there. I went through all, I think it's 85 pictures, and I was like, this home looks amazing. But you can have it. It can be yours for $5.25 million. And I'm sure there's going to be bidding wars even with this home. I thought, wow, what a home. So if you want to say, hey, I moved into the Home Alone home where Kevin McAllister did the Home Alone movies, it could be yours. It could be yours. But if you go to Zillow, just put in there, or you can just Google the Home Alone house for 5.25 mil. It'll come up. The pictures, the people who renovated this home, it's amazing. Lori says, I love those movies. There's actually like 4 of those with different people. Adrian says the house needs 2 housekeepers. Right. So you're paying $400,000 just for 2 housekeepers. Dr. Antoinette says, I'm trying to figure out how I can pay myself as a housekeeper and then write myself off. Listen, for that kind of money. And this is why I share these things, because I want us to broaden our perspective. Everyone cannot be an influencer on social media. Everyone cannot be this online marketing consultant. Everyone cannot be you fill in the blank. Y'all, there are positions, there are jobs out there right now. And I want to get into that as I'm going into this workshop. Again, the workshop I'm about to deliver to you all. And I know Isaiah will be leaving me, so I'll be working the boards too. But the workshop I'm about to deliver to you all, people who have taken this workshop, and I'm doing this back to the community as we're going into our 4 years as News in Motion, a digital news platform. I'm giving you this workshop today, but people paid for this workshop for only 90 minutes. They paid $249. You're getting it today as a way that we're saying thank you to our community. This will probably go to about 8:30, 8:45. And if you have to leave, we understand. But those of you who stay to the end, you will also receive the PDF. We will email that to you immediately. We'll see who's on here. We'll make sure you get it. If we do not have your email, make sure you get it to us. Danita, I still need your email. Or did you give it to me? I need to check. But we will make sure you get that. Adrian says, right. So we have to understand our worth, because we have to get beyond what we see and what we currently do. Like, for example, lawn care. Everyone's not out there because of allergies cutting lawns. But to find a company to do the lawns is difficult these days. So my question is, do we hire some lawn care workers? Like, what do we do when it comes to lawn care workers? Do we need to establish more lawn care workers, or they just cut the lawn, they don't do the edging, or they don't do the bushes and the weeds and all of that? It's like, no, I need you to do all this. So, but to find those people, we have a lot of people, and I'm thinking about my parents as elderly people. Now, they have 5 children, so we get them to where they need to go in my mom's bedroom, but with my dad. But like, are there buses or companies that will take people to the grocery store? We know we have the delivery of things, but let's say they still want to get out and they still want to walk around the grocery store aisles. What about those individual people? What about construction? Y'all, sometimes we ignore the quote unquote, what we call dirty jobs, and we focus on other things. So what I want to do today, I want to go into our Wednesday workshop. And again, I'm giving to you all because you have been our supporters and our followers for so long. I'm giving to you a workshop that I've done in 90 minutes and charge people $249 for. You're getting it free today. And again, if you stay on till the end and my team is watching, you will receive the PDF. You will receive the PDF. We will email that to you. So let's get this up here. So know your worth. I want you to know your worth. And I want you to give yourself permission to succeed. So I want you to know your worth and give yourself permission to succeed. And if y'all have questions, be asking the questions because I'm going to answer them. And again, this is copywritten. This always has to be on my staff. This is my intellectual property. This is the work that I do. So I want you to think about something to think about. You believe you are charged enough. Yet after you pay for everything, you need to complete the project, you find out that you dipped into your own personal savings and pockets to pay the bills. This is really called the money pit. So you're doing the work, but at the end, you find out you're not making any money whatsoever at all. That right there is a sign that you are not charging enough. You're not charging enough. And we have to stop tiptoeing around what we're charging. So before I go deep into this, even when it comes to the inspirational message is know your worth, know who you are. That's important in the work that we're doing today. Know who you are. Those of you who've been with me for these 4 years know that I'm a follower of Jesus. I am a Christian, and our inspirational messages are normally biblically based. And yesterday we talked about trust in the Lord with all thine heart, lean not into thy own understanding. Today, know your worth, know who you are, know your purpose. You have been uniquely made to do the work and the calling that you are doing. Embrace that. Don't release that, y'all. Embrace that. So if you are now in your pockets and you see no money left over from the project that you've completed, you did not charge enough. And what normally happens, we're not thinking about gas to the post office, the paper we're running, because although we do things digitally, we still have paper, we still have supplies, we still have this, that, and the other. You have to itemize everything that you're doing. Don't just charge for the hour that you're coaching someone, charge for your prep time. So don't even charge hourly, charge per the project. So you want to look at that. Number two, you're excited about the work that somehow you do not consider, again, the gas, the postage, the mileage, the packaging, and so much more. This is called being in the money pit. Number three, you have placed value on your projects and services that are less than the actual cost. This is called a money pit. Y'all, these are things I want you to think about. I was at an event this past Thursday. I was invited into a room of some pretty outstanding people up at the Ohio State University. And the person who got up there to speak said, and they do this every year, and they talked about how much they paid their speakers. Their speakers spoke for 7 minutes. There were 7 minutes, each of them. And it's a part of their program where they're encouraging women. It's women in leadership, women in government, women speaker. They said these two speakers, each of them, have received a check for $25,000. I said, say what? For 7 minutes? And they talked about how we do not charge our worth. We want to diminish it, and we're in, to some degree, trying to guess what somebody's able to pay us. We don't know that. Or we'll say, well, what's your budget? Or go ahead and give me an honorarium. And we won't be bold and say, this is what I charge. Because your intellectual property, the work that you do, is significant. And we cannot continue to lowball ourselves. Now, I need y'all to talk to me if y'all still in here. That's how I know you're still in here. All right, number four, you spend more time or because you are passionate about your work, you're just giving them time. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm guilty of this. I've been doing these types of things for years. I will coach somebody, and they know that it's a 50-minute session or an hour session. I could be on a call with them, or a Zoom with them, or at a meeting at Starbucks with them, or at the library conference room for 90 minutes. No, they paid for 50 minutes. They paid for the hour, or I'm constantly giving people more than what I had agreed to in the contract, because I'm passionate about my work. And that's easy for all of us to do. If you're a gardener, you may charge a certain amount, but then you go out and you're like, oh, you know what? I think you need a little bit more annuals over here. Think you need a little bit this. And then they go into their pocket because they love what they do, and they just keep giving it. Y'all, we have to know our worth. And then number five, you pick up several items from the dollar store, thinking about a client. This is called the money pit. I've done this as well. When I am coaching people and I hear what they're doing, this young lady is really big when it comes to baking. So especially over the holidays. I was in the dollar store. Then I was also in not Home Goods, the other home store, and I think it's called Home. And I saw all these tin cans. I like bought all these cans and said, "Hey, I was out, thought about you, dropping them off here. This is my Christmas gift to you." Why? Why? Why couldn't I just text and say, "Hey, I'm at this store. They have these. You may want to run over here and get them, or check your local store in your city and state and get these things." Y'all, we have to. Dr. Internet said, "We're taking it in, sis. Take it in, girl. Taking it." We have to find a way to balance it. So, y'all, here's pretty much the introduction, which I'm already into this. So, if you're not good with the money side or the budget side of the work that you do, go ahead and get you a CPA or get you a bookkeeper or an accountant. Go ahead and do that. Lori says, "You are on point. That has been me decorating a home. I'll see extra stuff that would be great outside of their budget." Yes. And that's our passion. And to some degree, we are expecting people to say, "Wow, let me give them something extra because they went above and beyond." They're not even thinking like that. And it's not a negative on that person or those people or that company's side. It's just that we're so excited about the work that we're doing that we go overboard. But we have to find a way to level it off, because still in the inspirational message, God is looking at, like, can I trust you to do what I've called you to do? Now, He wants us to be kind. He wants us to offer grace. He wants us to offer mercy, but He does not want us to be taken advantage of. No, that verse there, "Be shrewd as a serpent, but gentle as a dove." Like, that's for real. I'm probably just remixed that scripture, but that's how we do this. So, do you want to stop digging into your own money pit, digging your own money pit? It's time to stop throwing your money away as you are building your business. So, y'all, we have to build the business. Adrian says, "Limit the give." We have to limit the give. So, y'all, inside the PDF, those of you will stick with me to the end. You're going to see in here, know your worth, placing value on your product and services. Know the difference between money, pressure, and power. And there is a difference. And know if you are sabotaging your success and losing a profit. And so often we are sabotaging our success. Y'all know that. Remember, I told you I was at last year, 2 years ago, where I said, my business coach said to me, "Gail, give yourself permission to succeed. Give yourself permission to be paid what you're worth. And it's okay. And stop having what many will call a poverty mentality. Stop thinking about, oh, they can't afford." You really don't know what they can afford. You don't know. You don't know. And the same thing goes if you want to bless somebody, stop looking at what you think they have and bless them anyway, because blessings come back to you tenfold. So remember that. So know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. Placing value on your products and services. So let's go deep here, y'all. Y'all got time, I got time. We're going to do it. I'm going to do it as a workshop. I don't want to rush through this. Again, if you have to go, I get it. But if you say to the end, you're going to get the thing. And I will be asking you at the end to put in here, still here at the end. So I make sure you get this PDF. Placing values on your products and services. Determine what's your worth. What are you worth? What are you worth? Put a real number to that. Is it $100 an hour, $250 an hour? Is it $500 an hour? Is it $1,000 an hour? What's your worth? What's your worth? And it's also great to have people in the room also advocating on your behalf. I have somebody in the room for me right now, and they are determining to make sure I am paid my worth. And I cannot say thank you enough to this particular person. She lets them know she's an author of 15 books. We paid this person this amount with one book. We definitely gonna pay her for 15 books. This is what we're charging. This is what we're paying her. And she has been helping me get some outstanding contracts. So we also need that person in the room advocating on our behalf. But what's your worth? Is it $25 an hour? Is it $50 an hour? What's your worth? What's the project worth? When you look at your project, you got to put everything together to determine your worth. What are you worth? What is your business communication protocol? Y'all, here's a place that we get into the money pit and we're not even counting that or adding that up. So let me talk about that for a moment. I had to establish a business communication protocol, and Dr. Kim Carter helped me do that. Dr. Kim Carter helped me do that. She's really good with that. So if you're looking for somebody to help you with that, contact her, pay her, because she has a rate for that. I noticed, and it's easy now with cell phones. People were texting me at 9 o'clock. Hey, I got a question. What do you think about this idea with my book? And I would respond back 9 p.m. So this conversation may go back on text message to about 10:30. I had to stop that because my hours are I work until 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. I do not work Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I had to identify those things. I had to put a clear stop to that. And I would then in my business communication protocol, I would say to them, I will return your text message. I'll return your email within 24 to 48 hours. If it falls on Thursday evening, you know you will not hear from me until Monday. Map all of that out. You can determine your client base by if they respect what it is that you're giving them, if they respect it. So you also have to put boundaries and you have to respect yourself and your product and your business enough to do that. So people say, well, I know you do speakings on Saturday. Well, I choose to do a speaking on Saturday. I choose to open myself up to speak at retreats and conferences and do workshops and so forth. But one-on-one clients, no. No, I have a time frame. I have a framework of when I'm going to do that. Deborah says, I love that. Time is valuable. Yes, Marion says, setting business boundaries. We have to do that. The other question there, how many hours do you choose to work within a day? You get to determine that. And you should be determining that. My day starts at 4 a.m. because I'm going back to any type of news breaks, news alerts, or anything, so that when I come here on News in Motion, I'm ready to go. So my day starts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 4 a.m. And that will go until 4 p.m., 5 p.m. On Mondays, I'm already prepping. I've gotten away from prepping on Sundays because I still, I had to pull myself away from the news. I still get the alert. So every now and then, if I come across something, I see that. But I'm scheduling it. So I'm looking at my days in blocks. So I want to stress this to you. Look at your days in blocks. What are you willing to do? How many hours are you choosing to work? And does that equate to your worth, to that number of what am I worth? And then how many days do you work each week? Me, Thursday through Monday through Thursday. And then there are times that I do weekend things because it's on the calendar. Somebody asked me to do something. I may preach at a church, do a Bible study, or anything like that, conferences, retreats, and things like that. So your client relationship. Yeah, and this one's a hard one for me because I like people. Y'all know I like people. But the more accommodating you are, the more they will expect from you. So you do have to set, as Marion said, business boundaries. You have to set the boundaries. So what is the client relationship? What are you willing to share? Are you willing to just go have coffee and share your heart out? Or are you willing to say, okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes to 15 minutes for like an assessment or clarity conversation, but the rest of my lunch with this person is not going to be business. It's going to be, we're out here as girlfriends, as friends, as business partners, whatever that may be. But you have to identify that. Deborah says that was a lesson I had to learn. When you are the boss, you have to do the work. So you have to manage your time. Time is key. Also, client relationships. The more familiar you are, the more they will expect from you. Y'all notice I said accommodating, then familiar. And then the more you respond to a text or answer after hours, the more they will expect from you. Notice I keep saying the more they expect from you. The more you work outside of the signed contract, the more they will expect from you. Y'all, clients are clients, not your friends. Let me explain this. I had trouble, and I'm sure many of you have had the same kind of trouble. I had trouble being a coach to my friends because I was giving them the world. I finally had to draw a line and make a decision. I cannot coach my friends. I need to refer them to somebody else. That is the best decision I've ever made. Your clients are clients, they're not your friends. So even if you have friends who have become clients, you have to determine, okay, is this my client or my friend? And make a decision, because it's easy for you to say, oh, girl, don't worry about it. I get this. Hey, let me share this with you. Let me give you that. Let me give you this, that, and the other. You have to have a fine line with that. Y'all have been in business for more than 25 years. I teach these things. I know what I'm talking about. Hear me. You cannot do both. You cannot do both. Deborah says takers don't have boundaries. Well, there's that. And then we getting into the power of no. Refer to your contract. I now say this all the time. It took me the longest to do this. Actually, my daughter has helped me a lot with my business. We are in business together when it comes to the ready side as well. But I had to put a post-it note on my computer so that when I'm on the phone having a one-on-one or on a Zoom, on a coaching call, I had a post-it note that says, you can refer to your contract. And that was the best way of saying no because I didn't know how to say no. Okay, I know now. And then, you got to say, when somebody says, do you accept urgent requests? Well, refer to your contract. Do you accept changes to a project? Well, refer to your contract. If not, tap into the power of saying no. But you can refer them into the contract, or at some certain point, you just have to say no. Value your time and emotional well-being. That is so important. If you can accommodate the request, be bold and charge the extra fee. And you need to say, well, I can do that if you're able to and you're willing to, and it's not going to stress you out. But then say, but there's a fee that's associated with that. If they're already your client, you may want to change the fee for that. Y'all, the same goes for the products you sell on your SD account, on social media, whatever that is. Your price is your price. Time out for discounts, y'all, because it's going to lead you to the money pit. So if you're paying, let's take News and Motion, and we're looking for different merch. We're looking now at Amazon, I'll just be honest with you all, to come away from this other company that we have, because the other company will always be out of stock with things, or it'll take forever to send things. I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. But it takes so much work to set up a new store. It takes a lot of work to do that. So I've been kind of fighting that. So the question has been, do I stop doing merch? Do I keep the merch? Do I move to a different platform? Like, what do I do with it? How much merch is actually being sold? Is it really worth it? So a lot of questions that you have to ask with that. But people will say, can I get a hookup? No, you can't get a hookup, because this t-shirt costs me, because we're not selling them in the thousands, in the hundreds, or the thousands. This t-shirt costs me $7. The writing on top of the t-shirt cost me $3. And if I have it on the sleeve in the back, it may cost me $2 more. So your t-shirt is going to cost you anywhere from $19.97 for the smaller sizes up to $27 for the larger sizes. That's what it costs. But y'all, do y'all notice that we don't ask that question when we're going to Macy's or Nordstrom's or Target or TJ Maxx? If the t-shirt says $19.99, you pick up the t-shirt for $19.99. You're not arguing with anybody about that. Marian says time is money and money is time. Absolutely. So you have to think about that when you're doing this. What's the price of your product? What's the price of your labor? What's the price of the material? What's the price? Add all the costs to it. Know your worth, y'all. Know your worth. Ponder some alternatives to the request, and then have a written script to place on your computer. That's what I did. Time is money, and money is power. Are y'all getting this? Are y'all getting this? Is this helpful? I don't know why, but I just wanted to give y'all this today. Know the difference between money and power, people. So let's talk about money and power. Let's talk about this. And again, what I'm giving to y'all, I'm doing it probably in 30, 45 minutes, where I can do this in 90 minutes. I've also done this in 3-hour time frame as well. Money and power. Go old school and create a to-do list. Do that to-do list. Y'all, Trello is out there. That's a great place to set up to-do lists. And Trello is TRELLO.com. I'm not an affiliate, but it's a great platform to be on. Set real office hours. Y'all, on my door, seriously, in my office, on my door, I put an open sign and a closed sign. I do. I'm in my home, but it's my time, and it's reminding me these are my office hours. These are my office hours. Schedule appointments, including self-care each day. Fridays. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah says this is very helpful. Fridays are my self-care day. Every Friday throughout the entire year, it is all blocked off, and it says self-care. Now, only people who can enter into my self-care days are my parents, not even my siblings, my parents, because they're 88 and 89 years old. My mom is bedridden. They're the only people that can alter that day. My husband, my children cannot alter that day. So that day is reserved for me, for reading, for exercising, for going to get a massage, for walking around the city, for meeting up with girlfriends, for lunch. For last Friday, I did a book signing from 9 to 11. I just told people to come to me to Kennedy Cakes. So you may think, well, that was work. No, I was sitting there at Kennedy Cakes having some delicious desserts and nice coffee and conversation. I was supporting a Black-owned business. That was self-care for me. So you identify your self-care. Dr. Internet says, we are getting it. I'm glad. That's self-care. That's self-care. So whatever, identify, define your self-care for you. Set up a day to follow up on projects and all subcontractors. Mondays are usually my day to follow up on where I'm at with projects, checking in with my team, checking in with subcontractors. So that would be the editors, that would be graphic designers, that would be the audio engineer, Gina Winks, that will be whomever's helping, that'd be the website person, that would be just my business coach, people like that. Mondays are reserved for that. So you have to really look at your entire days and put it together that way. Evaluate yours and your subcontractors' progress. You can fire subcontractors. You can fire volunteers. You can, if you're like, this isn't working for us, so let's move on. But, thanks for all the work you've done. If it's not working for you, y'all, we're talking money pit here. We're talking know your worth. You're worth more to continue a relationship that's not working for your business. You're worth so much more. Let's take social media. I knew that you all loved Facebook, and it was killing me to leave Facebook and go just to YouTube. But I had to make a decision that we're going to go to YouTube. And everybody didn't follow us, but I had to be okay with that because Facebook was shadow banning us. And then all of a sudden they started coming out with, they're not going to put out news content. They're not going to put out political content. They're not going to put out this, that, and the other. I knew then I have no other choice but to move. So I had to let Facebook go when it comes to news and motion. Now we still have our page where we post different articles and things like that on there, but the live show, we could not do it. We could not do it. That was probably one of the scariest things I had to do. But I had to walk by faith and not by sight. I had to trust the process and move us to the YouTube where I have ownership to what I have on here now. I'm not shadow banned here at all. So y'all, these are things we have to look at and we have to do. You have to make tough decisions when you know your work. Y'all, this is News in Motion. This is Wednesday Workshop. This is what we do. The other thing, and this is a pain in the you-know-what, track every penny. It's painful. I don't know if that's an Excel sheet you're using, page sheet you're using, if you're using Intuit, whatever it is, track every penny. What's up, Davia? She says, I've got to get better at follow-up. It piles up, fall behind, and I either get frustrated or withdraw. I've been there. I know that story. Y'all, you have to track what you're doing. There was a company that I used with Ready Publication, my daughter and I used. And I'm being careful because y'all may know this person. It was a company I used. Love the people dearly. I absolutely love them. But we never received the footage of what they recorded. Never. We paid the deposit and I still promote them. I think their work is outstanding. But when I think back now compared to in 2015, 2016, I realized maybe they weren't ready. And sometimes I think we push people out there to be ready and they're not ready. So be okay to say, you know what, this is not working. So let me go down another avenue. So then the next time that you rely on them, you're doing an interview with them. And that goes back to something I said earlier, y'all. Clients are clients. Clients are not your friends. Because you have to separate it, because it's hard for you to fire your friend. It's hard for you to fire your relative. It's hard for you to say, you know what, this isn't working when it becomes to a relationship that you're working with. That is so hard. It is so hard. And I tell you, I shy away from certain things. And people will say, but I really want you to do this. Okay, do you understand if you really want me to do this, what this is going to be. You have to allow me to have my freedom to do it the way I do it, and you cannot interfere. And we have to sign some sort of agreement that this is not going to mess up our relationship because I love you too much for that. Deborah Johnson says tracking all the details is challenging. It's very challenging, but it's important to know. At one point, I had to make the decision to write down time blocks of everything I'm doing. So here we are, schedule a list. So I schedule my self-care. Look, every Friday is self-care. So, but again, that does not interfere with hanging out with people. It's my self-care. I get to define my self-care. I schedule exercise. I need to get back into that because I'm really horrible with that. I schedule silence. Yeah, my silence is in the morning. My silence is in the morning. I schedule journaling time. I schedule that. Yes, the tracking details is challenging. I do a to-do list. I schedule coaching, and I never do coaching back to back to back. And 15-minute break in the middle does not work. So it may be like, okay, I'm coaching this person on book publishing today. I'm coaching this person on inspiration tomorrow. I don't put those in the same day because I have the mindset like on a Tuesday, this is all going to be book publishing. On Wednesday, this will all be inspirational coaching. Whatever that is, that's what I stick to. I schedule it because that also, Deborah, helps you keep track of all the details. Clients, I schedule clients. I think about the clients. I'm like, no, because I know the energy. Once you get to know your clients, you know the energy. And it's like, I got to give too much energy here. There's no way I can do that after a News in Motion broadcast. No way. Because I have to come down after even after a day like today. Don't call me. Don't call me. I have a client at 10:30. I'll be ready for that client at 10:30. I could not schedule that client for 9. I could not schedule that client for 9:30. I could schedule that client for 10:30 because I have to come down from this. I have to have time to come down. I made a huge mistake in Atlanta the week of the book launch, the actual launch of Book Conversations with Gail. We had the launch on that Saturday, May 4th. We flew to Atlanta May 5th. Worship service was that morning. There was like an hour break in between. And then I signed 79 books and talked to 79 women. And that was the most draining thing. And I'm no longer young. I said, I'll never do that again the rest of my life. My daughter, thank God for her, was moving people along. She had to come up to me and say, you cannot talk to everybody. You cannot write a page in everybody's book. I'm going to need you to tighten up. That's how my daughter talks to me. And I said, but she goes, I don't care. So then my daughter noticed that I was not following suit with what she asked. She stopped the line, gave her speech, and said, okay, we can keep going. And then we were able to adjust to that. Are you coaching software engineers? I do coaching now. It depends on what you want in that coaching. And you can email me. Isaiah, can you post up my email? You can email me at this email address and tell me what it is that you're looking for. So Isaiah is going to get my email up there, I think. If not, it's info. No, I can no longer use that email. It's Gail Dudley. It's Gail@GailDudley.com. So that email, Gail@GailDudley.com. You can email me, let me know what you're looking for, and we can go from there. So that's Gail@GailDudley.com. Lori says, yep, that's it. Thank you, Isaiah. Lori says, I need to work on scheduling what I'm doing throughout the day and sticking to it. Getting sidetracked, looking at housework that needs to be done sometimes is challenging. Lori, let me speak to that for a moment. I'm in conversation with my husband right now, saying to him, I think I have grown to a spot that I need to go get an office somewhere. I don't know if that's renting an office at Cohatch, renting an office outside, but I started thinking, well, are there a group of people who maybe we have some like-minded type things where we can put a studio in a place and we have offices and we schedule the studio time to where if we need to do some brainstorming, although we're all different backgrounds in our businesses, that we can just like as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, come together and like have strategy sessions with each other. And it's a part of our office thing and then go back into our own offices or do whatever. Because I actually think it's time for me to come out of my home. I actually think that because I do. Let me throw in some laundry. Let me go ahead and cook this meal. Let me go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and do that. And because the level of clients that are coming in, maybe it's time for me to think differently. And yes, it saves a lot, and we can put this on our taxes. We can put off like our office and things like that. But is that the best for us where we are now? So something to be thinking about. And then I also schedule breathing. I say, let me sit down and breathe, because y'all, we don't even think about our breathing techniques. We're just breathing throughout the day. We got to slow down and breathe. And then I also read, because I got to read more than just news. I got to read other things to see what's happening. All right, y'all, we're going to keep going. I told you we're going to be a minute. We're going to be a minute, but I'm getting through this. I'm giving y'all this workshop again. We're celebrating 4 years, and I'm just excited about it. And I wanted to give something back to you all and say thank you. So the outcome of this, it allows you to play. I'm still a kid at heart. I want to play. I want to, and I don't know who's on here. We talked about ice skating. We never did that during the winter, but I want to go roller skating, y'all. Who wants to go roller skating? I want to go skate. I've been wanting to go. I probably break my leg, but I want to go roller skating. The outcome, we can strategize, we can prioritize, we can clear our mind of distractions, we can minimize stress. We got to take the time to put this in order in the beginning. Minimize procrastination, attracts resources, visualize multiple income streams, build wealth, be in control, and have power. This is the outcome of putting something in place when you know your worth. The other day, actually it was yesterday, I get through LinkedIn like different job openings and things like that, which I don't know how I even got on this list. But anyway, there were some contract jobs, and I immediately started thinking of people. And I started sending them these. I'm like, hey, y'all might want to apply for this. This is a contract position. They're looking for business owners who may want to add this to their list of services. Check this out. I was constantly sending those things yesterday. Well, I was also seeing a lot of political stuff. And I was like, if I'm sending this to other people, I can do these things. I said, let me send, I don't want to work for you, but let me send this contractor, let me send this pitch out there. So I did a template, and I started sending pitches. Y'all heard back from 3 people yesterday. Yo, you have to change your mindset of what you're doing and how you're doing it. I don't know if Davia is still on here or not. I talked about this. I think this was last week. How she shifted in her break from Tales from the Shaker. I think it's from the Shaker. Sorry if I messed that up. But how she shifted as she's on break for that. The content she's putting out right now. I was on it like, and Dave, I need you to actually do one on packing. Okay. You talked about going in your closet, and we saw you go in your closet and you was getting things out. But now I need to know how. Okay, can you tell me how? Can you do a video on how you did all that and how you got it into one suitcase, if you got it into one suitcase, and how you determined what you were going to put back in the closet? I need that part of it. Oh, she's still here. All right, she's still here. So, Davia, I'm going to need that part, because I was like, she's making this sound so easy, but I know Davia enough to know this is easy for her. So now I need her to teach me so I can stop taking this, that, and extra carry on and all this stuff. Oh, she said there's a packing one coming. All right now. I can't wait, because that was phenomenal. But when you have a love for something, and you need to make that adjustment, because I believe in multiple streams of income. When you make that adjustment, it has to be a smooth adjustment, an adjustment that you enjoy doing. So I always ask my clients, what makes your heart sing? What gives you joy? Do that. There's nothing that I'm doing at the age of 58, soon to be 59, that I'm not going to enjoy doing. If I don't enjoy doing it, I'm not doing it. Davia said, it is not easy for me. Well, girl, you could have fooled me because you made that seem too easy. I said, what? So y'all, that's how we do this. Minimize procrastination, attract resources, visualize multiple incomes as stream, build wealth, and be in control and have power. Well, in building wealth, I can't ignore this part of it. And you all know, because I've talked about her, I don't see her on here today, but Kim Edmondson talked about investments. We talked about investments. And from Kim Edmondson talking about investments, I took it a step further, like, what's option trading? Listen, in building wealth, y'all, you cannot stop me from option trading at this moment in my life. Seriously. Amazing. So much so that Kim Edmondson, myself, and Hester Jackson, who lives in North Carolina, we're trying to figure out how to bring something together to deliver it to those of you who may be interested. Listen, on option trading, every day, I can make $25 from option trading, additional dollars. And you may think, well, that's just 25. That's not enough. That's $25 more a day. So in a week, that's $125 more than I have. But of course, with NVIDIA, listen, yesterday I was like, oh, okay, NVIDIA's still going. Let me mark. Now you gotta learn it's not, don't just think you can also lose money. Okay, let me be honest with you. But I charted out NVIDIA. That's the AI chip that everybody's talking about. I had gotten the news because I get the news. I had gotten the news about this partnership with Elon Musk and XAI, which we talked about yesterday on News in Motion, and NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is making the chip for XAI. Well, clearly, I'm going to go and do an option trade on this. Now, I could have chose to swing it to the next day, which you swing the trade to the next day, or I can just say, let me go in here, see how high it's going to go, and go ahead and then sell the contract back. Because when you're doing option trading, you're really just renting the contracts, renting the shares, and you make money. That's like, we can do that? That's legal? Yes. Now, y'all, there's gambling and there's trading. I consider myself now a professional trader. I can read the charts. I can map them out. I know exactly what to do and how to do it yesterday. And I'm sharing this not to say I made this yesterday. When I saw that, it was going up. It was before noon. I saw the thing because it came back down. You got to be able to track the chart. Yesterday, in, I don't know, 19 minutes, $919 in 19 minutes. Where can you go to do that? Y'all, so have multiple streams of income and build wealth. Build wealth. And again, don't just do it to be doing it. Know what you're doing. Be in control and have power. Okay, yeah, we're almost done. I told you we may be going to 8:45. I told y'all that. Know if you're sabotaging yourself and losing a profit. So you have to define your brand. Let people know who you are. But let me also say this. Don't allow people to pigeonhole you or put you in a box. When you have multiple streams of income and you're looking at your multiple brands, you got to bring it into one brand. So here's me as an example. Define your brand. So my brand is media, news, should say news, there's an error there, podcast, blogging, influencer. Everything is tied back to my name. Everything is. Therefore, I must answer the question, who is Gail Dudley? That answer becomes my brand. That's how you look at it. That's how you look at it. So I'm the advocate. I'm the audacious advocate. But that ties into news. That ties in civic engagement. That ties in voter education. That ties in the media. That ties in publishing. All of those things tie in. Now, I'm not going to verbally sit here and break it all down. But if somebody asks me, I can send them a pitch. It's a one sheet. It's a one-sheeter. Know how to do your one sheet. So everything ties in. So there's no questions. So when I send you the PDF, if you're still here, when we get off here, if you're still here, you get the PDF. I will also send you what my one sheet looks like. So you can mimic that and you can do your one sheets on Canva, even in the free one. Now I have the paid one on Canva, but you can also do it in the free site. Then outsource, y'all. This is so important. Do what you love what you do, outsource everything else, but never completely remove yourself. So let me give you a story real quick. Before connecting with Gina, who's our audio engineer for News in Motion and the podcast, and I no longer do the podcast in this season. But we use News in Motion as a podcast and as the broadcast. So we use them for both. I had contracted another company, and the other company would never get my stuff out on time. Never. So we had a conversation, and because I'm not a technology person, I shy away from technology. I just let that company do everything. I didn't know what they was doing. I didn't know how they were doing it. I knew nothing. So I took my hands off. I will never suggest that to people ever again in life. I am not a numbers person when it comes to bookkeeping and budgeting, and I'm not that person. I now force myself to learn I need to know where every penny is, where it's going. After the situation that happened with me with this podcast company, when we said goodbye to each other, I couldn't get into my account. I couldn't get into my previous recordings. I could not get into the descriptions or write-ups. I could not get into anything. I literally had to have my attorney. I hired my attorney to get all of my stuff. And along with that, my attorney asked them to give me all of the passwords and everything I needed to know to enter. So, y'all, you can outsource it, but never completely remove yourself from the work of your brand. Never. Because they had too much of my content caught up in there that I needed. And I had removed myself, so I was no longer in control. Never let that happen. You don't want to micromanage the subcontractors or people that you hire, but you need to have your passwords. You need to know what they're doing. You need to know the time frame. You need to map all of that out in that contract. And if they're issuing the contract and you want to add something to it, then you write an addendum to it. And you put that out there and you sign that. It's important. Outsourcing and your budget. Let's talk about this real quick, and then we have a few more things, and then we're out of here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Y'all still here. Determine what is being outsourced and why. Why are you outsourcing it? And if it's because you don't know how to do it or you don't care to do it, still learn it. Okay, still learn it. Create a line item for outsourcing. What is going to be your budget for that line item for outsourcing? Research the costs for outsourcing, and then weigh your budget against outsourcing. And then what is the cost of your brand to outsource? What is that going to cost you? Many of you know I had people doing my social media to bring that social media back in, because there was something about I needed to be my voice in my social media. It had to be exactly right. I had to know, because of what I do, I needed to make sure that it was not being mismanaged, that misinformation was not getting out there, that disinformation was not getting out there. In the line of work that I do, I had to control it. I had to see it. That was not being a control freak. It was that I want my voice in my social media. I want my voice. That's the only way I know how to do that. Lori says you have to know about all that's being done, even if you outsource. You do. You still need to know. You need to know why. The only person who can do my social media at this point, and they do it like in the summer, that will be what's happening, is my daughter and Zelray. Those are the only two. My daughter and Zelray Simmons. Those are the only two people, because they know me. They know me. So they can do it. They can do it. Donita says, still here. This is great information. Thank you for challenging me. You are absolutely welcome. All right, y'all, here's the last thing I want to go over, and I'm going to run through these quick questions, because if you're still here, you will get the PDF. Here are 12 questions to ask yourself. And let me put that up there. I guess if y'all can see it, y'all can come up. But it's going to be small. This is before you outsource. Ask, do you have a clear understanding of the process? And you can have a contract, but do you have an understanding of the process? What are the details of this business relationship? Keyword business, not friends. What are the details? How is this going to be handled? What's their business communication protocol? What are yours? Will coaching be available so I can learn the process or to troubleshoot a situation? Seriously, because sometimes something may come up and you're like, I need this now. And that person who's doing that work may not be able to do it. So are you comfortable enough to go in? And are they comfortable enough to let you go in to troubleshoot if they're not available? Will there be a weekly or monthly report or meeting for updates? Now, weekly may be too often, but monthly, it should be monthly, even if it's a 5-minute check-in. Let's just check in real quick to see if we're on task with everything that we're doing. Am I comfortable with the process and who's running the project? This includes knowing everyone who's involved. Don't send me in somebody that I'm like, who are you? I want to know, who are these people to begin with? How much of my brand power am I allowing someone else to control? Again, with that podcast company I use, I gave them too much of my brand power, too much. With the marketing person I used before, I gave them too much of my brand power, too much. And I had to bring that back in. I had to bring all of that back in. Are the fees I'm paying equal to the quality of product and services I am receiving? Are they equal? What's up, Felicia? Gail, what a wealth of information and inspiration you are. The presentation is accurate, practical, and will work if you work it. Yes, it will work. I'm a living witness. Thank you, Felicia. Next, can I talk with the rep, business owner, etc., in the case that I am not satisfied with the process? People are having challenges right now with Etsy. And they're having challenges because there's no one to talk to. Everything is done online. And I've have a client right now is like, I'm ready to pull my things, but I can't even figure out how to shut down my retail and how do I move people to another platform? And they're trying to move to Shopify. And it's because they have I said, well, Shopify, there's nobody to talk to either. So those are things you have to identify in the beginning before you get into it. You have to know what you're doing and how you're doing it. Will I lose my voice when it comes to my brand and written content and editing? Listen, we talked about yesterday AI. We talked about Grammarly and Latrice Jones. And I said, I'm a lover of Grammarly. Been using Grammarly for years. You still need somebody to edit your work if you're having content. I don't care if it's a graphic. Have somebody edit the content. So people are putting it into AI. Again, the keywords there with AI lately is that this is my intellectual property. I want this to stay in my voice. And you want them to edit it. Now, if you want to be lazy and you say, hey, can you go write a paper on this? Then that's your fault. It's not yours. So make sure your voice is still in there and that you just want editing work. So even with Grammarly now, there's an AI function with editing. So if my editor is not available, who I have a retainer with, I will throw something on Grammarly like, okay, this is it. And it will say, change your comma, change this word, whatever. And then I go in and change it. So you want to just say, is my voice still here? Do people know this is me? Because I never want to lose that. Your brand, you never want to lose it, ever. How many people are involved with the project, including the other businesses and platforms? For example, all podcast related entities. Like who's involved and why are they involved? You're welcome, Lori. Do I know how everything connects? Example, podcast, iHeart, Apple, Amazon Music, Stitcher, etc. So looking at podcasts, do I know how everything connects? Do I know how the download works? Do I know if I'm getting paid? Where are the funds coming from? And is there a clear written contract that spells out the process of being released as a client and your intellectual property? You never want to lose your voice. You never want to lose your intellectual property. All right, y'all, that's the last slide. That's the last slide. You know I got to throw that in there too. Book me if you need some help. So if you're still here, put in there, I'm still here. So you make sure you get the email. If you know I don't have the email, go ahead and inbox me or send me an email to Gail@GailDudley.com. It's so hard to remember that. But go to Gail@GailDudley.com. That's the email. Isaiah's gone, so I'm working the boards too. He has a real job. He has to go do this. So Gail@GailDudley.com, or just email me and say, hey, send me the PDF. Now, if you don't send it soon and you send it later, I know you weren't on here. So make sure you do that. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Again, this is our way of giving back. Just saying thank you for supporting News in Motion over the last 4 years. Maybe you're new. Maybe it's just been a month. Maybe it's just been a week. Maybe it was just today. You came in on a good day because we wanted to give this information to you. So that's what you can do. You can also scan a QR code if you're like, hey, I want some more from you. I see y'all. I'm still here. I'm still here. This is wonderful. I'm still here. I'm still here. I see you. Present. Adrian says present. So I think so far I have, Felicia, I don't know if I have your email, so make sure you email me to say this is your email so I can see the PDF. Again, you can just go to Gail@GailDudley.com and say, hey, send me the PDF, and I'll send you the PDF. To the person who was on asking about software engineer, just let me know what you're looking for, and we can go from there. Again, I would need to know that. Tracy, I think I need your email too, so make sure you send me that email and I'll send you the PDF. You can go to that email right there, Gail@GailDudley.com. Say, hey, G, send me the PDF and I'll send you the PDF. So if you're not sure that I have your email or not, just go ahead and put your, send me an email to that email address saying, hey, send me the PDF. Yeah, say, hey, send me the PDF. I'm being funny. And I will get that to you. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I knew it was going to be longer today. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome, Regina. You are welcome. You are all welcome. All right, y'all. Y'all know what I say. This was long, but hopefully this blessed you all. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember to make some bold moves. I'm out.
motion.